welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego Season 2, Season 2. We're interviewing and tracking the journey of amazing entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time. With me, I have my new best friend. And you're my new best friend because you know Tina.
We're going to have so much fun.
Oh, absolutely.
How can you go wrong?
Tricia Groff?
Yes.
The concierge psychologist for high achievers.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So a lot of psychology is aimed toward fixing weaknesses, and a lot of people perceive it as a mental health problem. And I love, are we allowed to swear on here? The word is ass.
This is your show. You can
I don't know.
You can say anything you
I
want.
love helping people kick ass. I love people that are really motivated and want to tweak and refine. And so all of the psychology that I use on myself, I do toward the people that I work with. I'm also fascinated about, so the high achieving part is super motivated.
Right.
Type A, a little bit driven.
Okay.
A little bit crazy. And just really wanting to kick butt in their businesses and their personal lives.
Well, you have to be, right? I mean, you have to be a little bit crazy. You have to be a little bit extraordinary.
Yeah,
that's why it's called extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's not ordinary, it is extraordinary.
Yeah.
So you have to be extraordinary in order to, continue doing whatever you're doing to fail, to succeed, to fail,
I think
to succeed.
So. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also fascinated by the link between psychology and money, because a lot of people, I think, may perceive psychology as a little bit fluffy or just emotionally based. But when you look at, and especially since we're talking about entrepreneurs, the intersection between the way we think about risk, the way we think about stability. I was at an entrepreneurs meetup a couple months ago that I attended for a series of months. What was interesting was listening that the primary stuck points that people were encountering was emotionally related. It wasn't about the business plan. It wasn't about trying to make a contact. It was about actually acting on it. So they would go home and read another book. People, reading another book is not going to get your business going, okay?
And it's okay, right. I mean, there's so many motivation videos or books that you can...
Which I love, but
fun.
You have to act on them.
And you're touching about something that really is, it's kind of at the center of entrepreneurship, right? I mean, you have all these ideas, and anybody can have a million ideas, and indeed, everybody has a lot of ideas. Everybody has a lot of it. But it's the execution aspect of it that makes the difference.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. Look, I get people coming to me and say, you know what you should do? You should do this, you should do that, you should pay this. And if I hear another mother tell me that thing, I'm like, I'm going to shoot you, dude. Don't tell me something like that. I need somebody to help me execute.
Yes.
And so with
based
your
on
system,
your strengths and what's important to you and what's going to work in your system.
So when you come in to be the concierge psychology for the high achievers, you actually help those people help us put those ideas into an execution mode.
Yes. I love strategy. And it's funny because there's this, we go through it, my clients get it. We talk about what's going on and it's like, okay, what's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? And even when I don't say what's the plan, there's an understanding of what's the plan, because I think that's when we feel successful. I know for me, if there's something that I figured out in my head, I'm really not going to feel successful unless I'm doing something with it. And so it's definitely figuring out where the barriers are. Or I'm calling them ceilings. Somebody asked me recently why I do what I do. And the ultimate reason I'm really passionate about people going as far as they possibly can. So I'm always looking for what are the ceilings, what are the barriers, what are keeping them from getting to the next level. So we figure that out and then figure out the plan to execute.
Do you, now, this is kind of a silly question because how do you find your client, right? I mean, do
I go out in the street and I'm like, I need help, people, come see me.
Because you have to be able to realize, you know what, I really need a little bit of help and I got to seek out some help.
Well,
and it's got to start right there, right?
The help word has been a barrier, which is I'm trying to get around because a lot of people don't, they see psychology as something to do when they're desperate.
Right.
And I don't really want people that are in crisis. I want them to be proactive enough to say, you know what, this is getting in my way. I want to move further. But to answer your question, a lot of people end up being in crisis, and it's just like, okay, I need to do something differently. The way I find my clients is it's referral, it's tons of referral, and what helped me narrow down into the high achiever piece of it, I've always been passionate about providing psychology from a wellness and peak performance, now I can't talk because I'm looking at the camera, a peak performance perspective, but I thought, who do I love working with? Who do I leave going, I am so excited, I could do this all day, every day, and also who seems to really click well with me, and it was the people that were super high achievers. So I started working more exclusively with them, and then they started referring their friends and their friends, you know, several people with, that's...
I'm trying to determine, okay, and I can see where the word psychology would have that negative connotation, where you have to be in some kind of crisis before you can come in and intervene, and then you go all the way up to whatever the relationship of the entrepreneur had with their mother, and you know, and you go very Freudian on them and everything.
Not me, it's so not me at all.
I can see where that connotation.
Yeah.
But you are there actually helping somebody that is already successful?
Yes. Yes, and I put it out in my literature. So I put it. I'm helping somebody who's already successful, and also on my website. It's just, you know, something that people can identify. Yes, I'm successful. Yes, I'm a high achiever. I'm not broken. I'm not flawed. I need tweaking, or there's this thing that I'm not sure, you know, the obstacle to overcome. So I try to address that, the negative connotation, just right up front, so that people can get it. The other thing that I've heard feedback on is that I'm very the strategy is this, I specialize in X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, this is what we're going to do. And I've gotten feedback that they like that because it's obvious through my writing that I'm goal-oriented.
You're helping Scottie Pippins become Michael Jordans.
Yeah. Yeah, can you tell me about Scottie Pippins?
Because I really get out of here. Come on,
you know what's really funny? My intro video is about sports. It's about baseball, and it's about hitting from your sweet spot. But now I'm going to have to go and look about Scottie Pippins so I can have a sports medal. Oh, and I'm going to write a book. Oh shoot, I can't talk about this because it's going to be public. Well, okay, there's a big intersection between sports and women, and so essentially I'm going to compare women to a sports type of ball.
Well, this sports metaphor, you know.
In marriage, so I'm going to tell men how to treat their women like a sports type of ball. Anyway, sports, Scottie Pippen.
I could go so many ways with what you just said right now.
I know.
But I think I'm going to change the subject.
I've learned if I open the door, people are going to walk through it. Since we're having fun.
You didn't open the door, man. You just kicked that door open.
That's what I'm known to do.
But it's good. All right. So where do you take that highly successful entrepreneur? I mean, is it a difference? Let's translate that into numbers, right? Is it I'm going to take my $1 million company, I'm happy and I'm successful, I'm going to take it to a $2, $3, $5 million company?
You know, I'm not there yet, and I don't know that I will, because somebody said, essentially, can I guarantee that I'm going to translate this into numbers at the individual point? Not right now. What I have more is, I'll give you an example, business owner who had a tragedy in life, and I'm used to being all together, all organized, my business is great, and then her life was shattered. So how does she figure out how to cope and maintain her business? Because there's both. There's the personal life to figure out and the business to run. Sometimes people are very successful in their business, but there is, like you said, it all intersects, so there's some personal stuff that keeps them from going as far as they can in the business. So
is it also the fact that a lot of us define success very differently?
And I'm looking at, that's a really good question, because I'm looking at the 360. I want people to feel really successful personally and in their business, so that there's just this sense of, I have a lot of people saying, I just want peace. I want to be excited about life, and I also want peace on all angles. And so there was a point when I wanted to, when I tried to, because specialization is important, you know, to just do career, just do business. What I found is that everything, we always, if we're talking about personal, we start talking about business. If we're talking about business, we start talking about personal.
Do you put them on the couch?
No, I don't have a couch. Look, you asked me about Freud, you asked me about couch. I'm a non-traditional psychologist. That's what I do.
Well, that's the thing, you know, I see psychologists, and the next thing I know, I'm like, my problems with my mother when I was 5 and stuff like that, you know what I mean? and the couch and the whole thing. I mean, it's
that, you know, where that comes up is if it's not addressed. Some people are like, that's in the past, it doesn't affect me at all. And so even for myself, if there's something I'm like, oh, that's history, it's not affecting me at all, and then something jerks me back, something happened a couple weeks ago that jerked me back emotionally, and here's the problem, it took my focus from my business. So I wasn't on my A game. I'm always wanting to hit from the sweet spot. And so that emotional jerk back sort of had my attention more into that zone versus what do I have to do for my business today? What do I need to do for my clients today? And so ironing that out so that if something from the past comes up and bites somebody emotionally, they're able to take care of it, move on.
Do you self-analyze?
Yeah. I didn't think I did. Somebody told me in 8th grade, like, Tricia, you think about everything. And I didn't think that I did. I thought it was normal to just think all the time. And then I said, what do you think about? They're like, what am I going to have for lunch? And it was just, when we were sitting here, I thought what I was thinking about was, because I also love group dynamics, and I think it's important in business to be aware of how group dynamics and genders work. So the first thing that I thought about was, okay, what's this space feel like when there's 2 males? Because I know that a lot of times males, they need some space.
Yeah.
And depending on the cultural piece as well. But so yeah, and that's the part that I love. I just love the fun part of psychology. If you, how to guide a group, how to change a situation, how to change a person's behavior without talking to them. All that stuff. That's fun.
Dr. Tricia Groff, man. Did you kind of analyze me through this interview process?
Okay, so people always ask me that, and
Did you try to figure me out?
The funny answer is that I don't work on the weekends, and I don't work when I'm not working. I'm just too lazy for that. I'm a peak performance person. I'm just too lazy to analyze people. But the other thing is that I really respect people's privacy. And so I just never go where I'm not invited.
Well, you're always invited here to the show of Entrepreneurs and Fuego.
That was good.
We're professionals here. Be careful. We're professionals here. That's all we do. With that, we're out.